Welcome to Mot Today. I'm Luis Saucedo II. Got my co-host here.
Mick Ruggiero, how y'all doing today?
Right on, man. Right
Well,
on. So
I,
we're doing well. So
yeah,
let's see what we got going on here today. So we're going live on multiple platforms right now as we usually do, but we got one extra one, TikTok. So let's see. It says sideways. I know it's sideways. I don't know how to really fix that. Let me see.
hey, do you have a banner?
I'm sorry.
You got a banner to throw up?
Yeah, I do.
Make sure you guys check us out. We're on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm sure there's a few other ones on there. We're on YouTube, obviously. I was
Right.
thinking about starting a MySpace.
Let me know if you guys can hear Mick. Let me know if you guys can hear Mick, my co-host here. You can't see him because we can't do live streams on StreamYard through TikTok yet. Yes, you can. Awesome, sweet. So, yes, awesome, cool. Getting a bunch of people in there. Cool. So make sure you hit that like button. Let's get this. Let's
Yep.
about to get this show rolling. And
Make sure you subscribe, follow, all that junk.
Right on, right on. So yeah, let's start off with the Ohio State stuff. So just for the new people coming in for the MOT today on TikTok, we start off by doing state news, which we're in Ohio, and a lot of the state news actually in Ohio ends up affecting other states too, or other states follow suit. Maybe not because of Ohio, but there seems to be a trend. For instance, we covered the constitutional carry law that had passed in Ohio a few weeks ago. And now we're seeing another state, Georgia, which we've covered on the TikTok, which I'm sure you guys have seen. They're now working on passing it right now. Hi, hey, what's going on? So they're working on passing it right now. And there's something going on here in Akron that I believe is going to be pretty applicable to other states as well. So, Mick, why don't you go over a little bit about what's going on in Akron, what they're trying to do, what they got the budget for?
Yeah, so for anybody who doesn't know, Akron is in Northeast Ohio. It's the rubber city capital of the world, or it used to be. We used to make a lot of tires up here. Goodyear is started there, and we have Bridgestone and Firestone. And Akron just approved its 2022 annual operating budget, and in the budget, it was amended. The budget was amended to include a $100,000 cabinet level position focused on equity, which was a recommendation from Akron's Racial Equity and Social Justice Task Force. So they're dropping $100,000 on this. I think I may have told you a wrong number earlier, Louise. I apologize, but yeah, they're dropping $100,000 on this task force, social justice task force thing. This is probably going to be a thing, throughout the entire country as well. I mean, the social justice movement is moving strong. So yeah, that's one of the big things that I think was kind of snuck in there in the budget that people don't really know much about, and they don't really say much about it. They just say they're throwing $100,000 into this. Some other things that are in the operating budget, they're going to be increasing the police force, and they're going to be raising the pay for the police 3.25%. And along with that, they're going to be dropping $3.9 million in violence prevention initiatives, which I figured would be like, what the police thing would do. But, once again, it doesn't really say what, in the article, what, that entails. It's just, we're just dropping all this money. So, yeah, $100,000 for the social justice movement and $3.9 million in violence prevention initiatives. So
So what's going on with the 100 mil for racial inequality?
It's not 100 mil. It's actually only 100,000, and it
Okay.
doesn't say anything about it. It just says that they're including $100,000 additionally into the bill. They had to amend it afterward. They're like, hey, hold on a second. Let's not forget about racial equity and the injustices and whatnot. And so they're dropping 100,000 into that for a cabinet level position. So they're like creating a position, like they're making a position for a job for someone to be in charge of social justice, I guess.
So to make sure that there's enough Black and Hispanic people in certain positions.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's like a lottery or something. They'll just be like,
Yeah, because they can't be Asian, because we know if Asians start getting in there, then they start blocking the Asians from participating, just like they did in Harvard, just like they're doing in other schools as well, that most people aren't aware of. Most people are aware of what's going on in Harvard, but yeah, so that's interesting. So
yeah, I think you're going to see things like this around the whole country. I think that's something you were hinting at, and they're doing it in the NFL now.
Yeah, which is totally insane. It's totally
I
insane.
think
Like
it's
they're
crazy.
trying to, yeah, like they're claiming in the NFL that it's racist because there's not enough people of color in leadership positions in the NFL.
Yeah.
But when you look at the sports in general, if we were really going to be going for racial equality in basketball and football, dude, we need more white guys in there.
Yeah, really. They should. That's the next thing. Maybe they'll be like, you have to have a certain amount of white people on your team, man. That
I
would be
doubt it.
fun to watch.
Yeah, I doubt it, because if you want more white people on your team, then you're a bigot and a racist, dude. Get it right.
Well, they're trying to, if they want to equalize things, you know what I'm saying?
Right, right. Well, they don't. It's all a scam. Just like this whole racial inequality, this racial equity thing. Like, why do you want racial equity? Just let things work out the way they work out. And it's probably better to be homogenous than to be diverse. Actually, definitely is 100%.
Well, the fact of the matter is that a lot of, you know, uh, a lot of people in poor communities are black or brown skinned people, and I mean there's a lot of white people too that are in these poor areas. It really has nothing to do with race. It's all about like your economic status, and so then you get caught up in like drugs and shit because it's like a never ending cycle. That's what your family did to get by. Everyone they just do whatever they can to make money, and whenever you need money desperately, sometimes people will resort to illegal things, and that's why it's supposedly just mostly brown and black people and whatever that are uh, arrested more and stuff like that.
Yeah,
You know?
so I definitely think that there's unfairness when it comes to the justice system and who gets imprisoned. Like
Yeah, like
that,
rich
that,
people
that
don't have to worry about that shit.
right, right. Well, yeah, I mean, if you have money, then that's a whole other story.
That's what
Which,
I'm getting at, is that it's not really about race. It just looks that way, and they're using that as a scapegoat. When the real problem is that it's like the poor people have no chance of fighting in the justice system, and the rich people just don't
well,
even have to worry about that shit.
the poor people can get rich.
Well, they can, but until then, they're going to get fucked by the justice system. Like, there's no way they can fight against it. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll push back a little bit on that. I mean, I agree to a point, but the thing is, too, you don't necessarily have to resort to criminal activities to make ends
Yeah,
meet.
I
There's a
mean, I
lot of
agree with
ways.
you. I agree with
Yeah,
you.
there's a lot of ways to make money,
I'm just saying
and
that's what's going on.
yeah, no, for sure, for sure. And so then it ties into being a cultural problem, a cultural problem. I'm Hispanic, so I look at a lot of my family members, and a lot of my family members abuse the system, like and they do illegal shit. They've been in prison, in and out of prison. So it's just really what you want to do. But then I also have family members that are the total opposite. So it's really what you want to do with your life.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, anybody can rise above that shit. Like you have to be the change you want to see, man. So, if you people who say they love the ghetto and shit, like, no, dude, you don't love the ghetto. Like, you do not
Right.
want to. Most sane people do not want to live in the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
some people
I don't know. I don't know anybody that loves the ghetto.
Some people are like, man, I could never leave and shit like that. Like, I'm serious.
Well, yeah, you can never leave with that mindset. But
Well,
this
yeah,
whole racial equity thing isn't going to help anybody out. I mean, throwing money at problems
it's just
doesn't
creating more
solve.
division,
Yeah, well, that
creating
too.
an imaginary problem.
Exactly. It's just going to create more problems. And
Here's an idea. Let's not send billions to Ukraine. Let's keep that money in the ghettos and try and make shit better. Like,
yeah,
I
for
don't know.
sure. For sure. No, I'm with you there. Like, I don't know why we're sending billions out to Ukraine. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I mean, it does make sense when you look at the corruption. I mean, that then becomes pretty obvious as to why.
It's definitely not going into Ukrainian ghettos. Unless they're like bombs or something.
Right. And I mean, like, something most people aren't aware of is that a lot of the donations that are getting that like people are sending over, like just regular citizens are sending over, are going right into the Ukrainian government's pocket. Just like now they're making a virtual museum.
That's all that's going to be left. The regular museum got bombed.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, it's insane. So I know we kind of went off topic here from what we're talking about originally, but I think getting back on topic, we're going to see a lot of the same kind of bills being passed across the state. For instance, here in Ohio, I have volunteered on a couple of city council campaigns, and one of the people that I volunteered with at the time, I was, as some would say, blue pilled to certain things, not all things, because I've always been aware of a lot of things growing up, but there was a few things that I didn't realize until later in life. Anyway, one of the like the fact that I was helping a woman get elected. Jeez, who would have thought, knowing me today, that I would have ever done that? Anyway,
did she win?
Not that cycle, no, but she did end up winning the next cycle, which I didn't volunteer for her campaign at that time. But the time that I did volunteer for her campaign, she was telling me that she would want to make Stowe, the city that we lived in at the time, a a sanctioned city, something like that, where immigrants could come to.
Sanctuary city. Where legal immigrants can go.
Yeah. And when she told me that, even at that time, I was like, you're retarded. Like, why?
Why don't they just you know what else they should do? They should it should be sanctuary for like violent criminals too, which some of them may be, but I mean known violent criminal, sanctuary, like come on in.
Right. So the whole point I was getting at with this is in your it's so much more important, which is why we cover state and local politics here, because it's much more important to focus on at a level like most people who are watching this are on, right? Nobody here, maybe you guys are, nobody, but I would assume most people here are not very well connected politically, are not millionaires and billionaires that can throw their weight around in dollars to get legislation passed. But one thing that you can do, don't be deceived though, because at the local level and the state level, they are very corrupt. But you have a lot more say at the local and state level, which is why we want to focus on what's going on here in our state and maybe some of the cities that we are near or live in, and bring awareness to these topics, because you may be facing certain things like this in the future, and maybe you want to do something about it. And so the best course of action is to pay attention to your local politicians, what they're doing, because that's where you have the most influence if you want to be political at all. Right? So if you care about politics at all, if you care about government at all, focus completely on local and state politics, because that's where you have the most say. Unless you have a strong network and some money to throw some weight around, then you can start messing with higher levels. But if it's just you, focus on what's going on locally, what you can do to help stop that, because that's going to come at your front doorstep. All this globalist agenda, all this, what's going on with Biden, it may indirectly affect you in certain ways, like at the gas pump. But in reality, what's going to really matter is what's going on at your local city council meetings, at your state house. That's what matters.
Yeah, I think we're starting to see. I think we're starting to see a trend in that direction. With they said with all the school stuff that was going on the past few years, people have got fired up, and they were voting in little things like that. So I'm actually pretty surprised with the way the last national election went, the presidential election. I thought a lot of people would be downtrodden and, not, be like, what's the point or whatever. But I guess people still have faith or something or hope.
Well, local elections, I think, they are definitely easier to be rigged because there's, a smaller population, less complexity, etc. However, I feel like you have more at stake if you're going to be rigging local elections. So your best bet too is to vote locally and to do things politically locally.
Yeah.
It's definitely easier to.
Yeah, start at the bottom, work your way up.
Yeah, I mean, unless, like I said, you got some weight to throw around and you can aim for the top, then aim for the top. But it's not even that, really. I think the most important thing that people can do is simply try to become more self-sufficient and try to surround yourself with people who are like-minded. That I think is the most important thing anybody can do, aside from, if you want to be political, being locally political, not focusing on so much the national stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's important and you should know what's going on, but where you're going to have the most say is going to be at the local level. And the best thing to do is to get to know your neighbor, know your own shit, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's your community. Like, you actually know the people. So
right.
Why would you not want to focus there first?
100%. 100%. And now we are seeing, as Mick stated earlier, we are seeing more people pay attention to that kind of stuff. Another thing that people are starting to pay attention to is the perversion in media, which is another main reason why MOT has started here, because we want to sort of combat the narrative that all media is bad and show that there are good platforms out there, such as ours, where we're going to, we may be wrong, but we will never lie to you. And our goal here is to help people stay ahead of the curve. So anyway, what we see going on right now that a lot of people are waking up to is the perversion in media with big corporations like Disney. Now they're talking about this whole wokism agenda, trying to feed children this LGBTQ bull crap. And it's got a lot of parents fired up to the point where they canceled their Disney subscriptions and things like that and are not going to be supporting Disney. But what I found kind of, I don't want to say humorous, but entertaining, was the fact that so many parents were saying that Walt Disney would be turning in his grave, when only if they knew how bad it really was or has been for years.
I haven't heard that one yet, but I don't know the guy. I don't know shit about him, so I don't know. He may have been a child molester for all I know.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely working with the Nazis. Fact, his best friend allegedly was one of the head Nazis that helped build NASA. And
dang, he was making Mickey Mouse and NASA? That dude's crazy.
Which then makes you wonder about space, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's very creative, very imaginative.
Exactly. So
that's interesting. I have to look into that a little bit more. Maybe I have to read the autobiography or biography or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to do that. You can just look up on YouTube. But yeah, so I mean,
I've been trying to read more.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, do that then. But Dreamworld, I mean, think about Dreamworld. Dreamworld, is that just space? It's just a dream. It's just an illusion. It's not real.
What's that? Dreamworld.
That's isn't that Disney stuff? I don't know.
I don't know.
Like an intro. I don't know. Whatever.
I'm
But
into
yeah,
Disney,
so
man.
Disney, I'm sure everybody's heard about it. Let's play this little clip here. I'm going to play this clip. Let me share my screen.
You talking about DreamWorks?
DreamWorks, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's I think they may have bought them, but that was some kind of animation
Acquisition.
studio.
Yeah, just like space. It's all animated.
That's a big ad. I thought at the Cavs game they had a big TV monitor, but if they got one that covers the whole sky, that's pretty impressive to show all those lights and whatnot.
Right. Well, it doesn't mean that those lights aren't there.
Yeah.
It just means that those lights aren't what they say they are.
Last summer, we removed all of the.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, this is the Disney thing where they're all like talking about how they're trying to abuse the kids.
So let me. I'm going to share this with TikTok as well. So this is going to be a little awkward camera job here, guys. So bear with us here. This is what Disney just released, and a lot of people are outraged by it.
Well, Disney didn't release it. Someone got a hold of this video.
Yeah. It was leaked. Whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah. So let me flip this around. Oh, what the heck? Let's do this for the viewers on YouTube and stuff. Let's go back here.
Last summer, we removed all of the gendered greetings in relationship to our lives fields. So we no longer say ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We've provided training for all of our cast members in relationship to that. So now they know it's hello everyone or hello friends. We are in the process of changing over those recorded messages, and so many of you are probably familiar when we brought the fireworks back to the Magic Kingdom. We no longer say ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We say dreamers of all ages. So I love the fact that it's opened up the creativity, the opportunity for our cast members to look at that. We have our cast members working with merchandise, working with food and beverage, working with all of our guest-facing areas where perhaps we want to create that magical moment with our cast members, with our guests. And we don't want to just assume because someone might be in our interpretation maybe presenting as female that they may not want to be called princess. So let's think differently about how do we really engage with our guests in a meaningful and inclusive way that makes it magical and memorable for everyone. And
yeah, so that's the video, and that's pretty insane to me. I don't even know why this is debatable. I don't even know why people are. I do know why this whole transgender movement is taking place. I can share that with you, but
they're trying to divide people more.
No, that's the byproduct, but it's not that. It's not that.
Well, let me say something that I thought of real quick. Of course, they don't want to call people ladies and gentlemen anymore because nowadays everybody wants to be bitches, hoes, and thugs. You know what I'm saying? They're getting rid of ladies and gentlemen, or they're trying to.
Oh man. Oh. I don't know. I guess. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So the real reason this whole transgender movement is taking place is really simple. It's to slowly introduce transhumanism. That's why. It's that simple.
Well, they are transhumans, or they think they are. So yeah, that does make sense. They're trying to change themselves. I guess it's not necessarily to make themselves live longer, though. It's just because they're bored.
It's a precursor to it. So I'm not saying that they're transhuman. I'm not calling them transhuman. I'm saying that the transgender movement is a precursor.
Yeah, because in transhumanism, they are okay with changing their body. So this is getting people okay with that, making people that are even not wanting to do that think it's okay or something.
They're going to go public about Michelle Obama. What makes you say that? What makes you say that? Somebody on TikTok said that. Let's see. Patriotism. I don't know how the freak you say your name, but
I guess
what makes you say that?
Naked? That would be her going public,
Right, Michael. Yeah, that is funny. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Let's see if we can find it for the people here. That Barack Obama clip where he calls Michelle, his wife, my Michael. Let's see if we can find that.
That's
Obama, Michael. Let's see if we can find it. But I don't know. I'm not completely sold on Michelle Obama being.
I don't even care. Who cares if she's a dude or a woman? I mean,
well, I mean, it would matter. It would matter because it's a part of a humiliation ritual. He does it 3 different times. They want to normalize it in people's minds to accept it. But why do they want them to accept it? That was mixed question. Like, yeah. So I mean, why do they want people to accept it? And the reason they want people to accept it, very simple. It's a part of the transhumanist agenda. It's that simple.
Yeah. They're like, well, hey, people are getting penis implants, so now they, I guess that makes the brain chip acceptable now or something. I'm not sure.
No, it gradually builds to that.
Well,
it doesn't turn to it overnight. It's like a gradual. Okay, so you want to mutilate yourself?
Yeah.
Cool. Go ahead and mutilate yourself. It'll help you with your mental stability. So it'll get people used to the idea of mutilating themselves. And then they'll be able to start. And you can also make the same argument for Western medicine, like jabs, like all antibiotics, like all this stuff. You can make the same argument for.
Tattoos, piercings.
They've been around forever. So no, I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, well, that was kind of like mutilation and whatnot. That's not like transhumanism because there's no like alternate meaning behind it or motive or what.
No, but I mean, you have to think about the time frames. Like, when did tattoos have always been around? They're like a sign of tribalism. Like,
well, they haven't always been around. In the Garden of Eden, God wasn't giving Adam like a tattoo or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it came around eventually.
Well, I don't take the Garden of Eden literally either. So I think that the Garden of Eden, anyway, like we don't have to go down that rabbit hole. But let's see here. This might be the video. Let's see if this is the video. Let me flip it over for the people on TikTok so that way you guys can see this. Can you see it on there you go, cool.
Yeah, I can see it.
Let's go here.
Distinguished guests, and men and women of the finest military in the world. Most of all, Admiral Mullen, Deborah. Michael and I also want to acknowledge your son Jack, who's deployed today. All of you have performed extraordinary service to our country.
Damn. But that's not even. Oh, hang on. This is it. This is the one that I know.
Keep the noise levels
I want to make sure he knows we're coming, or she.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if she's got some cubs, that's when you really got to work.
Yeah. You know what my kids asked me? They said, "You've got to ask the president. Does anything scare him?"
Well, when Michelle's mad, I get worried. There's a certain.
Barack Obama's a simp. I mean, first off, he could be dating a transgender, which is pretty simpish to begin with. But he just said that he's scared of his wife when she's angry. Or he, who knows?
When Michelle's mad,
I get to ask the president, does anything scare him?
Well, when
you almost said Michael. You almost said Michael again. Let's see if we get another one. Let's just keep this
going.
Who
is Michael?
Men and women of the finest military.
Michael, you see how he corrected it? It was
yeah.
Michelle.
I wonder if he knows someone named Michael. He's like good friends with him or something.
No, I think
maybe he was referring to me. Maybe he saw that Facebook or that MySpace thing I made a long time ago about it.
And somebody just said there's not a single photo of Michelle Obama being pregnant. I don't know. Let me see, guys, because I'm very skeptical of that whole narrative, to be completely honest with you. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. I do think it's pretty humorous, though. But let's see.
What about, like, the real problems? Like, what about all the stuff he did? Like, like people are worried about this stupid shit. Like,
yeah, I mean, in the grand theme, it's kind of stupid, but it's kind of not. Because it then gives you a deeper understanding of like the rituals that these so-called elites do. There's not a. Let's look up Michelle Obama pregnant. We're getting way off topic here, but that's totally fine.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even remember what the hell we were talking about. We were talking about Disney World.
I'm looking right now. Obviously nothing's coming up. I guess.
I'll tell you what. If I find one, I'll make a TikTok with a picture of her pregnant.
There you go. Oh, hang on. This is pretty interesting. Let's see this. I just learned something new here, guys. This was revealed in 2018. Didn't know this. Dang. I can't believe we're going down this whole Barack Obama and Michael or Michelle Obama rabbit hole right now. But these damn people on TikTok over here. This right here. Michelle Obama reveals daughters were conceived by IVF. Which, okay, I mean,
it was an in vitro.
Yeah, it's artificial. Like they make her pregnant.
Oh, so but it was Obama's sperm?
I don't know.
Maybe it was Bush.
Yeah, George Bush got Michelle.
They're like, we got the last few drops that were in there, Michelle or Michael.
Oh my God. Right. Yeah. No, that's a good point though. I mean, let's see. There's an article here that addresses why we never seen a photo of Michelle Obama pregnant. Let's look at it really quick. Let's look at it. They're going to be like, she's too old to have pictures. They didn't take pictures. In a brief guide, we will answer the question, why are there no photos of Michelle Obama pregnant? Let's see. Okay, actually, let me do this before I look it up. So we all did. Let's look this up real quick. Barron Trump mom. Is his mom Melania Trump? Yeah, his mom is Melania Trump. So let's see if we see a pregnant picture of Melania Trump. Because nobody wants to debate the fact that, nobody's debating that Melania Trump's a woman. So let's see if there's a picture of Melania Trump pregnant.
Drake has an album with all these pregnant chicks on it, man. We should get all pictures of all the pregnant presidents and put them on there like a CD album.
Yeah, we should.
And then or not the pregnant presidents, but the first ladies. Or wait, the president's moms. Yeah, that's what it would be.
Let's see. I'm searching for a picture of Melania Trump being pregnant.
Well, I keep getting the mom and the wife and the daughter. They all have like Ivanka is the wife, and then
no,
so did he name his daughter after his mom? Huh?
Ivanka's not the wife.
Oh, that's his daughter.
Yes.
And his wife's name was start with an M, didn't it? Wasn't it like I thought it was Melania.
I'm talking about her right now, Melania.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about actually Trump's mom.
No, okay. I said Melania Trump, Barron Trump's dad. Mom.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't see a picture of Melania Trump being pregnant. Maybe she's a man too, because there's no pregnant photos of her.
He had multiple wives, though. I don't think they all were from.
Yeah, Trump is. I know they're not. I'm not saying that, but Barron Trump, his latest kid, is from Melania.
Oh, is from Melania, supposedly.
Allegedly. But I can't find a pregnant picture of Melania, guys.
Well, what about the other kids? What was the other wife's name? Let's see if we can find her pregnant.
I don't know. He has a bunch. It doesn't matter. I mean, I don't know. We're looking at First Lady specifically.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. This may be a pregnant picture of her. She looks kind of fat here. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, this might be a pregnant picture of her. Okay. Let's see. Let me keep going. Because there's all these pictures of her skinny, fit. But then there was one where she looked kind of big. Right there. Right there. I'll show you guys. So I found it. I found one. I think right there she's pregnant. So
because Joe Biden's sniffing the belly.
Oh my God. Probably. But I doubt it. Trump will probably kick his ass. I don't know. No, Trump, they get it though. I think they kind of get it. Let's see. Yeah, so okay, we found one for Melania Trump. I had to dig a little bit. Maybe they're on the dark web. You ever thought about that for Michelle Obama? Maybe you got to go through like multiple layers of security clearance to get access to her pregnant photos because they're so valuable.
Show the picture of her pregnant?
Oh, I didn't show it to you guys. Yeah, I showed it to TikTok, but not anybody else. Search on Brave. You can find all this stuff if you just dig enough on any browser, pretty much. I mean, DuckDuckGo, kind of caved in. And then ever since they caved in, I was kind of like, well, probably everybody else is going to cave in at some point.
So didn't you have something else that you want to talk about for national news?
Yeah, but let me find this here. I mean, who knows? Maybe Trump got her pregnant again. Because in some other photos that are more recent, she has a little bump. I don't know. Trump's the man. I respect that. I want to be 70 years old still pumping out the kids. That'd be cool.
That's crazy. I don't know, man.
Black dress. Nah, man, that's how we do it. That's how men do it. Let's see, right there. So she looks kind of.
Oh yeah, she definitely looks pregnant in that picture.
She's pregnant.
Nice. Okay.
So we found one. We actually found several. So all right, maybe there's some points with Michelle Obama. I don't know. Okay, that's just when we get into that kind of conspiracy stuff. I sort of don't really care. The only reason I sort of pay attention to it is because it could be a precursor for something bigger. And that bigger thing, I believe, is transhumanism. But yeah, anyway, this whole Disney thing, that's what we were talking about beforehand. And so they don't want to call children boys, girls, ladies, gentlemen for adults either because it might offend someone because, we're not biologists. There's a URL to another photo. So, yeah, we're not biologists, so we can't go around calling people boys and girls and ladies and gentlemen because apparently, per the maybe next Supreme Court justice.
Well, what if somebody has insomnia? You know what I'm saying? Maybe they're not a dreamer then. That might offend someone.
Yeah, like there you go. I mean, just the ways you can offend people are endless. And let's be real here. Like, why would you ever want to consider, like, okay, I have daughters. I have a wife. I know perfectly well what a girl is, what a female is, and what pretty much all women are capable of. And you compare that to a man, there's no way you can confuse the two. None. Like, it's insane. It's insane to even think that. Like, if my daughters were to play a sport and then some little, let me try to be careful with my words here. Some little sissy dad and disgusting mom lets their child, who's a boy, say that they're a girl so they can play in the same sport as my daughters play, then, I mean, that to me is, one, child abuse, and two, it's just disgusting. Like, I would never participate in anything like that. I think a lot of people are going to start their own sporting leagues if this continues, where they're going to have clear lines in the sand.
I don't know why you'd, like, if your kid wanted to, you just be like, no, you play with the boys, But I mean, actually, my son's starting soccer, but he's so little, they do both boys and girls because they're like 3 years old. and they don't.
I
even
don't agree with that either. I think that's wrong. I think that all the boys are going to demolish the girls. I mean, it's from a very early age, man. Like,
well, but they're not even competing because they don't know what the hell they're doing. They're just like running around the field kicking a ball. They're just playing.
I don't know.
It's not
I
competitive.
don't know. I think that I think when it comes to sports, we should have a clear distinction between boys and girls at all levels.
Okay, well, so are boys and girls not supposed to play at all? Like, what is an acceptable?
That's not what I
way to
said.
play?
I said sports.
Well,
There should be a clear distinction between sports.
okay. Well, they're not, like I said, it's not competitive. They're just like kicking a ball around, and they're not like, they don't really know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's my opinion. I would want my daughters to play with girls strictly from all ages because that's what they're going to play with all their age, all the way through. So you have to start them young. You have to get this in the mindset. You have to trick the parents young. You have to get them to normalize it young and reason it young in order for it to precipitate or metastasize rather into something like it is today. So you have to understand these are slow, eroding processes of our values. So if it's like a street game or something and like you get like, let's think about it. Never once when I was in elementary school, we would play football as elementary kids. Never once was there a girl that would come over there and play with us.
Yeah.
Never once.
Well, what about when you were
naturally.
3 years old? Do you remember that? Like, did you play with girls then, or do you not know?
Naturally, it doesn't occur, man. Like, naturally, it just doesn't.
So you don't remember when you were 3 years old if you played with girls? I said, how about when you were 3? Do you remember if girls were playing with you then?
Dude, I don't think that okay, so when I was 3 years old, I actually played, when I was four, like around 4, I played t-ball, and it was all boys.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
every sport that I've been involved in that I remember, I've been playing, I'm 100% with you. I have a daughter. Cool. So, every sport that I remember, I've always played with my same gender, unless it's been like gym class, unless it's been the anomaly where you have your tomboy girl who wants to come out and play.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
so
I agree with you. I agree with you that they shouldn't, but like when they're so young, like my neighbor kids are girls, like what if they want to, what if they have a soccer net up and,
that's totally different. I'm talking about like learning to play a sport in a competitive way, which is what you're getting your son to prepare for. Is like eventually he may want to play this in a competitive way, and so you have to start at this young age and build from there. That's all I'm saying. Like, I think that it's totally fine for boys and girls to play. I have nothing against that, but I think once you start talking about competitive things, there's a clear line of the sand because boys have an unfair advantage. And most women don't want to, and most girls don't want to compete the same way that boys do anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, there should be a clear line in the sand. And so I think it should start, like, as soon as you start introducing sports to the child. That's my opinion.
I'm not sure why they intermingle them. I think it's just because, like, maybe they don't have, like, enough people who want to do it or something, or maybe there's not enough, like, girls who want to do it, so they're just like, well, they're only 3, just let them play together. And, I'm not sure. I guess I'll have to talk to them and figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm just shit. I have no say in what you do with I'm just saying this is my personal opinion. That's what I believe. I believe it's a slow build. I don't think that it's wrong for boys and girls to play with each other. It's very natural for boys.
First they start kicking a ball around together. Next thing you know, they're switching their genitals around. Like,
yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. So the whole Disney thing, that's what's going on. But it's kind of cool that people are waking up to it. But the thing that doesn't really give me any hope, and I'm not a pessimist. I'm not pessimistic at all. I'm very optimistic about the future. But what doesn't give me any hope, it doesn't give me any hope that they're waking up to it because people who are waking up to it now are only waking up to it because mainstream platforms are talking about it. That's all.
Yeah. Unless, your girl's getting her ass kicked by a dude in sports, and then you're probably going to see it.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's actually kind of suppressed too. I mean, for instance, there was a few years ago, I talked about it in one of the podcasts I did years ago, where this chick fought a dude who was, whatever wanted to be a girl, and the dude, this was a UFC fight, not a UFC fight, but it was like an MMA style fight, sanctioned, everything looks legit. The dude fractured the chick's skull.
They were letting them fight? Like this was a sanctioned thing, you said, and everything?
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying it was the UFC,
Yeah,
but it was some sort of MMA platform that allowed it to take place. And it was only because this dude had been going through his transition or whatever for a while, and he ended up fracturing the chick's skull.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, it's very insane. Just like the dude who won the
don't you have enough pride to why would you even want to do that? It makes you it less of an accomplishment when you beat someone who's a different gender.
Yeah, exactly. Like
you're not even, I don't know. That's like people, I guess, who cheat in school or something. That's the same kind of people who cheat. It's basically cheating.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you are cheating in a way, for sure. So it's not a fair competition. Disney thing makes me sick. Yeah, it doesn't really make me sick. I mean, it is what it is. Like, it's never going away. That's the other thing that we kind of have to accept. These things will keep unfolding, keep revealing themselves to us, but they're never going to go away. We're always going to live in this constant confrontation. That's this life we live is constant confrontation and can't escape it. And so the best thing one can do is find a way for, in my opinion, find a way for you to be as least affected by what you don't like and how you can protect your children.
So, you know how you were saying piercings and tattoos have been around for a long time when we were talking about transhumanism. Well, how long has this transgender thing been around? I know for a long time, people.
Yeah, good point. It's been around forever. I mean, it's been around forever as well. But there's also so I guess there's more nuance to it. So the transgender movement in its entirety, what we're seeing today, is definitely a push towards transhumanism. But if you want to go deeper on a more philosophical, spiritual level, there is a lot of truth in transgenderism, in that our spirits, I believe, aren't necessarily gender. Like they don't have a gender. I believe that your spirit and your body work well together. They become one while you're here on this earth. So therefore, if you're in a male's body, your spirit is going to be imbued with the male biochemistry and vice versa. But the spirit itself is sort of like a vessel, if you will. So one could say that on a spiritual level, you are sort of androgynous. You can be either sex spiritually, but that doesn't mean that physically you can.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Okay, that's cool. So,
I disagree. A lot of people are talking about this shit, but
right.
Yeah, well, that's why, whenever they find someone's body that's hundreds of years old, they find a body, they're able to find out the gender, because of science,
Yeah. So
that's one of the big arguments that's been going around. They've been saying, well, if you want to say the science matters, that is the science. They can find out if you're a male or a woman through testing and whatnot, or if you were a male or a woman, male or female.
Right. I mean, you could check out the chromosomes. There's a lot of things you can do. I mean, so this whole transgender thing has been around for a long time, obviously.
Yeah.
Really started around 2018. It could have. I don't know the start date of it, but the movement itself, as far as where it's going towards, is relatively new. But as far as transgenderism, that is as old as time. And so I don't believe that, I guess in a way, but transhumanism too is as old as time as well. If you go back far enough, there's a bunch of ancient philosophers who talk about men merging with a new type of machine.
Yeah.
Like ancient philosophers. So this stuff is old. So once again, there's as the Bible says, there's nothing new under the sun. which I think is true. I'm not saying that I think all of the Bible is true, but what I'm saying specifically is that there's nothing new under the sun. I do think that that is 100% true. And so we're just seeing a new way to push, or maybe in our lifetime, we're just seeing the way that it's being pushed. I don't know, because then you get into these whole philosophical conversations as to timelines and your life and all this shit as far as what you're going through in this moment. So, anyway, good point. Good point.
Yeah, so did you want to just go straight to the world news thing, or do you want to talk about the other thing in national news, or what do you want to do?
Oh yeah, so let's switch it up a little bit. Let's switch it up a little bit here. Elizabeth Warren, I'm sure everybody is aware of her. Hey, look, a spammer. Yep, you're right. It is a spammer. Nobody that's worth anything cares. Very true. So Elizabeth Warren, the senator, aka Pocahontas, has stated publicly in an interview that she believes it's time for the central banks to release a digital dollar. And this is due to the crypto market, and she believes this is one of the ways the technology can be harnessed to do good.
So she says it's time for the digital dollar because what about crypto?
Well, the cryptocurrency market is so volatile, and she's saying that the cryptocurrency doesn't have any real use case, and so the way you can use the technology in a beneficial way is going to be through a digital dollar.
Is to make it. Well, my whole thing is like we already have a digital dollar. Like I have a bank card. Like I don't understand. My only thing, like the only thing I see coming from this is that this is a way to wipe out the debt and just create a whole new currency or something. I don't know.
I don't know that they'll wipe out the debt, maybe, but I think. Well, so the digital dollar. I don't know if it really is digital. I mean, it is digital, so it is digital. Let me rephrase that. We already have a digital dollar, 100%. 100%. Most dollars are software right now. It's on software.
Maybe she's so old she doesn't realize that. Like maybe she still uses checks and shit.
No, but the point that I think no. So here's the thing. There isn't a digital dollar in this sense. There isn't a digital dollar in the sense that you can have in-game currency that you will be able to liquidate into real cash in the physical world. There really isn't that. And so cryptocurrency.
How? You can go to the ATM and just withdraw money.
No, that's not what I said. I'm not saying ATM. I'm saying like games.
You're saying that you can use the digital currency, the digital
Yes.
dollar, to withdraw. I thought you said to withdraw funds. Or
yes, what I
liquidate.
said was that in like video games, in the digital world, in the metaverse, in the new as the metaverse grows for what it is. Because just so you know, guys, we're in the metaverse right now. But as it keeps growing with like virtual reality, augmented reality, and you have these in-game currencies.
Yeah.
These in-game currencies.
They already have those.
I know. I'm making the point here. You have these in-game currencies that you can't actually cash out. So you do all this hard work in your video game for whatever reason, but you can't cash out that dollar.
But it's not hard work, dude. It's a video game.
That's not what we're talking about here. I'm not.
Well, you
saying
said
it's
it was hard work. I'm just saying, it's not hard work.
You're like nitpicking irrelevant things. I'm trying to explain my point to you here.
Okay.
The point is that you have this in-game currency, whether or not you see it as hard work. A lot of people will debate you on that it is hard work. Maybe it's not physically demanding work, but hard work can be mentally straining.
Yeah.
So you could then make the argument that work is hard to some capacity to be successful, to build up a lot of this in-game currency. You're hustling, you're grinding, but then you get none of that real reward in the real world.
Yeah.
So with the digital dollar, as to what is being talked about here, will allow you to do just that. Will allow you to extract the work will allow you to extract value from the work you put in these digital worlds.
I know that there are some games and stuff where people already can get paid for them. I guess this would just make it easier. So what, they're going to make a digital dollar so that people who play video games can get paid, can sell their virtual.
Well, no, it's more than that. I mean, then you're putting it on the blockchain, which provides complete transparency.
Why don't they just, instead of making it digital currencies at all in the video games, why don't they just pay you in money with what you do? If that's what they're trying to do, why do they even have these other assets? Why not just make an actual dollars that they pay you in, like digital dollars? Then they wouldn't have to even make anything new. That sounds like what they're trying to do anyway.
Well, I think that you still need. So the issue is that you would need something like blockchain to facilitate that. And so, in order for the dollar to be on there, you would have to make it a cryptocurrency, so to speak.
But why couldn't you just have like a wallet on? Like you play a game.
Because you have to have something that can interact with the real world. The technology isn't sufficient for what we currently have to do what you're suggesting, which is why they're saying to do what they want to do.
Well, why isn't the technology sufficient? I mean,
because you need the blockchain. The blockchain allows the facilitation between the interaction of the digital world and then extracting it into the physical world. It's part of the tool that allows that to take place. It's like the main piece of technology that allows that to take place.
I mean, I get a check and it gets directly deposited into my account.
Yeah, so you're talking about different networks here. So you can't say that.
But why couldn't they use the same thing? Like the video game could just directly deposit money into your account and then you withdraw it or do whatever you want to do with it. Like, why don't they just do that instead?
I'm sorry?
Why don't they just do that instead? Like, why don't they just, instead of doing this new currency, why don't they just directly deposit the money into your account and then you can just withdraw it? Like, why create this new thing when you already, I mean, we have the technology. I get directly deposited into my account. Why can't they do the same thing? Does it take more paperwork or something? Or
so then you get censorship resistance. So this is the thing too. The reason that blockchain exists is for censorship resistance and allows you to do this globally without passing through any of these stupid hoops of regulation. So I can make money off of going on the Ethereum platform, going to Decentraland, buying virtual real estate, not having to deal with one single government agent, not having to deal with a single bank until I get to the point where I want to withdraw that money. So this will allow you to decentralize that as well.
By the government creating a digital dollar that's going to decentralize it?
Well, not the decentralization of the digital dollar. No. The reason that they want the digital dollar is because it'll be interoperable with these blockchains. And then it'll be easier for them to track where you're getting these funds from.
So it's to fight against crypto, really. It's not to help crypto. It's to like fight against it.
Yes, 100%. Because it's not even a real cryptocurrency.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm just giving reasons why they don't even necessarily need to do this. But if their reason is to like get rid of crypto or whatever, or attempt to, then yeah, I mean, I guess that would make sense.
Well, yeah, because why? Like, let's see, how much you think gold an ounce will be worth? I don't know, man. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I've been trying to find that too. Every place is blocked. Let's see. Somebody said
the price of gold does matter to some people. I don't know what the price of it's going to be, but yeah, I mean, who knows?
You buy rubles. I don't know where you buy rubles. The reason they're asking where you buy rubles is because they're linking it to gold. What's the price of gold going to be? I don't know. In Russia right now, the price of an ounce of gold is only like not even $2,000.
That's the price of it everywhere. Yeah, it's like I don't even know.
Yeah, but they're linking it to the currency, and that's where they stuck it flat at. So it says we're blowing up in the chats here. So let's see. This is how we.
Is this all from TikTok?
Yeah, the SWIFT system doesn't work like that.
Oh, they moved to the Chinese system. They don't even.
Yeah. I know what it is now, but how high you think it will be? I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller, but maybe it's going to get. Well, here's the thing. We've seen inflation going up, and we haven't seen gold competing. I've shared this many of times. It needs to all be decentralized. I'll touch on that in a second. Go read this. Please, brother. 5K an ounce. I don't know. I mean, I don't really. I think silver is going to be more important than gold, if anything. And I don't really think gold matters all that much. I really don't, especially now with where we're heading.
Yeah.
I think that you have.
I was hearing some interesting things about the health benefits of gold. Like there's some things they're learning about gold to help people with health problems and stuff. And they use it in like conductors. It's one of the best conductors other than silver, but it doesn't corrode like silver, so that's why it's used in a lot of electronics. So I think that that's one of the reasons that gold's valuable, because it can be used in the real world for things.
Mm-hmm.
So the more electric cars and stuff they make, it could go up in value. The more people hoard it, just thinking that it is a hedge against inflation, could help it go up in value, but who really knows?
I think the more it's used, the less value, like the less monetary value it'll have.
Well, and the thing is, traditionally, gold hasn't been used as a get-rich scheme. It's been as a way to store wealth. So, like, people have always been, oh, it's going to shoot up, but that's really not what gold has been used for throughout history. It's been used to store wealth, not to, get rich.
And right now, if you've been storing your wealth in gold for the past 40 years, you've lost money. You've been better holding it in USD. Fact. Look at the charts. So that's why I'm saying, like, gold, what the hell is gold good for other than, like, making these, we can find alternatives to it. So, like, in reality,
so in
the
past 40 years, gold hasn't gone up. It's the same price.
No, the past 40 years, you would be better holding USD than holding gold. You would be better saving in USD than you would have been saving in gold.
Really?
Silver has been suppressed for years. Gold is a store. Yeah, I've heard this narrative for years now. Silver's been suppressed for years, but I don't know. I mean, maybe it'll blow, maybe it won't. I don't think that it will. I'll have to check this out. Everybody's talking about the Khazarian Mafia. The Khazarian Mafia. We'll have to.
Was it
we'll have to check it out.
Kazakhstan?
I don't know. Yep, stacking physical silver. I used to stack silver too. Like I used to be a big silver stacker. I used to be a big gold stacker. I actually, got rid of all the Bitcoin I owned and bought gold with it, and then I lost money in gold, but I made money in silver, and now I'm cryptocurrency, man. That's where it's at. That's where it's at. If you're really trying to preserve your wealth, here's the post. Go read, please. So if you're really like trying to preserve your wealth and make money at the same time, like I'm not just trying to preserve my wealth. I want to have wealth for a long time. So why would I save pennies?
Crypto's more of like a finance thing. Like, if you're trying to like build wealth, whereas traditionally gold has been a way to store wealth. And I don't know.
But not anymore. It hasn't been for like 40 years.
I don't know. I'd like to see this chart that you're talking about. I don't understand.
Yeah, I'll try to find it here in a second. There was somebody said here that if we lose electricity, it'll be used as currency. Okay.
What would be used as the gold?
Gold. First off, if we
sounds like we got a lot of gold bugs on our TikTok.
Yeah, if you use gold, so if you lose electricity, and then you think that we're going to go back to this gold standard, you're joking, because if we lose electricity, we're going to lose so much food because so many people are dependent on these big block stores to get their food. So if you lose electricity, you're going to have rotten food. And then guess what? People are going to care more about your skill set and if you can get food than gold. Gold and silver. I was just talking about my wife yesterday actually. The thing that when I was in the gold and silver community too, gold and silver bug community, trust me, I was there, guys. Anyway. So I've went down.
By the way, guys, me and Louise, we differ a little bit on this. He's like all in crypto. I'm more like diversification type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not.
Yeah. We do have different views on this. So let's be real. If you're gonna prep, right? Let's assume you're prepping and you're getting ready for a power outage type deal. First thing you should be prepared for: bullets, food, bang, and community. Bullets, food, community. Are you working on those three things right now? Probably a lot of people have the bullets and food. But do you have the community? A lot of people may think you have the community, but I doubt it. Anyway, so after the fallout takes place, the carnage ensues, you have to survive. Who gives a fuck about your gold and silver at that time, right? So the gold and silver is there for the rebuild. But it only does you well if you're connected. Because if you have $1 million and no connections, you can't do anything. For instance, there's a lot of multimillionaires out there. and there's a limited amount of Bugattis, right? So you have to know somebody to get a Bugatti. Just being rich doesn't do you any good. It's a qualifier, but you have to know people. The same thing would be true in a scenario that you're depicting. So there's so many other layers before you depend on gold and silver.
Well, I
You
think
have to
the reason,
work
yeah,
out what you're doing, what you can do to be more self-sufficient, build up your network. Then gold and silver and your wealth are secondary to what you can do as a man or a woman.
yeah. I mean, it's going to come down to bartering and stuff at first. This is all like crazy shit hits the fan stuff, but yeah, obviously food and stuff's going to be more important. But I think the reason why gold and silver provides that store of wealth, because it's a small thing, and it's supposedly worth a lot more than like a loaf of bread. Although if you're starving, yeah, you're going to want the loaf of bread before you want the gold. But although you may be able to take that gold and take it somewhere else where maybe there's more bread and there's more availability. So that's what for thousands of years, that's been the idea behind gold and silver, is that it stores a lot of value in that one little thing. That 1 ounce coin could buy you a shit ton of bread. Whereas, that's the whole idea behind it.
Yeah, yeah. So I get that. And there are countries that are benefiting from having that. The people who do have the gold and silver. I just think that there's better ways to preserve your wealth. LOL wealth. Somebody just commented, LOL wealth. You plan on staying in the beast system instead of becoming a state national. Well, here's the thing. This is the funny thing when people talk about cryptocurrencies. They assume that it's all in the beast system. You know that you can make your own cryptocurrency, right?
What is this beast system thing you're talking about?
The world we live in, the corruption of the world that we live in, society, all this shit. It's the beast system.
Oh, beast. Okay. I thought you meant like the letter B. Okay.
No. So, yeah, like, here's the thing. You can make your own cryptocurrency. And if you can make your own cryptocurrency, anybody can make their own cryptocurrency. So you can compete against the beast system if you wanted to, or you could just create your own little enclave, right? So that argument I don't agree with. You can build your own nation with cryptocurrency, like city-states, villages, whatever. Is cryptocurrency protected if we get cyber attacked? Well, I mean,
you can keep it on a flash drive and shit.
Cyber attacks are very vague. Like, it depends on the cyber attack. Like, if somebody does a cyber attack and infiltrates the blockchain that cryptocurrency's on, and then it inflates the cryptocurrency that it has, like Bitcoin. Fun fact: most people aren't aware of this. When people talk about cryptocurrency, they want to talk about Bitcoin. They think Bitcoin is the digital gold. It is. Maybe it is because there's a lot more gold than people think there is. Like like silver is more rare than gold. Fact. Anyway,
I think he was talking about like if the internet goes down, because then that's the big argument against crypto is like if the internet goes down, then what do you have nothing. But I heard you can keep it on flash drives and stuff like that, so you could still trade it with people.
You can. So, and I don't think that's what I don't know if that's what he's asking for a cyber attack. Maybe he is. If he's asking that, as far as that goes, who cares? You have bigger problems than worrying about your wealth stored in crypto. That's my answer to it. But if you're talking more so like a cyber attack, like a hack on the blockchain where somebody can extract data.
What do you mean you have bigger problems? Everything you've saved, if you're all in on crypto and there's a cyber attack, you've lost everything you've saved up for. Okay, so you got some cans of food,
Who cares if the internet goes down and the power grid goes down and you can't access your crypto? Who gives a shit at that point?
Well, would you rather have gold at that point or you're nothingness?
No, I'd rather be able to know how to defend myself at that point because
I agree. But like once you try to like establish things again,
it's the least of your worries. Accept your L. It's the least of your worries.
But if you have the gold, then you don't have to accept that L. I think that's what he's trying to get at.
I think that you're going to not worry about it at all because you're going to have your life will be on the line constantly.
You're not going to have to worry about it if you have the gold, and then you'll be like, hey, I didn't lose everything I worked for.
It's going to be the least of your worries because nobody needs money to live. It's going to be the least of your worries. The least of it. It's going to be the most important thing is can you survive? Can you protect your family? Do you have a network?
Yeah.
Who gives a damn about your wealth at that point? Because it ain't going to do you any good. if you know how to slick talk, if you're charismatic, if you're articulate in your thoughts and you have a vision and you're strong, you can convince people who have money to follow you. Like in times like that, you don't like money is not going to save you ever.
Yeah,
Ever.
but why would you want to convince money with people to follow you if like money doesn't matter?
Because then you can use their resources.
Wouldn't you rather just have your own resources and money?
You could, but let's say that's what I'm saying. Like if you lose it all,
but you won't. What I'm saying is, if you have the gold, then you won't lose it all. Like if the internet does go down.
Yes, no, I'm with you. I get it. But I'm painting a different picture here.
Yeah.
So everybody is like, oh, I need this money, I need this, I need that in order to live. Like you don't need the money in a worst case scenario, which is an apocalyptic fallout. Yeah. But there will be other people who are like, oh, I've saved gold here and there. I have the gold. And if you don't have it, you have nothing to fear. That's the point I'm trying to make here.
Yeah.
Because you can befriend them. You can lead them. You can join their group. You can then pull all your resources together. So it's like, it's the least of your worry, because if you're the guy with the bag, you actually may be more in danger than the guy without.
You'll have a target on your back. Yeah,
exactly. So it may be an asset to have nothing. So that's what I'm trying to paint here.
Yeah,
So yes, you're right.
That's why I like diversification. You know what I'm saying? Because if the internet does go out, at least you have a couple of coins of gold. You could just hide it in your pocket, run away with your family, or do whatever the fuck you got to do to survive. And then once things settle down, maybe you can use that to buy some property or something and reestablish your things, your life. I don't know. You know, I'm not against crypto. I just think that diversification is a good idea because you never know what the fuck's going to happen. That's my.
I think diversification for people at a middle income. I'm not financial advice, by the way, no financial advice. Diversification for middle income people, for lower income people, stupid. Go all in on something that you really believe in that will do well. That's how you'll make wealth. That's how you'll do it. Take all the risks that you can. If you only have $1,000, it doesn't take shit to make $1,000, guys. Making $1,000 is really easy. If you only have $1,000, find something that has a lot of upside potential, and the downside potential's there, but the upside potential outweighs it. I'm a gambler. I don't know if I'm a gambler, but I am a risk taker. This is my mindset. I am not a saver. I am a risk taker. I am not risk averse. I say go all in on one thing, not on multiple things.
Yeah.
And then build that up slowly.
We're gonna have to end it sooner. I'm gonna go out, so I'll just let you guys know that.
Great talks today, Michelle. Man. So everybody keeps talking about this. Right. Everybody keeps talking about this Khazarian mafia. So I'm gonna look into it. Oh, by the way, Mick, like what was going on in Ukraine with the people fleeing? They were able to flee because they had with their money, because they didn't have gold, they didn't have silver, they had cryptocurrency.
Yeah, they had a flash drive or something, or they just the internet's not out everywhere, so yeah, they could.
Question is what it's like. Question is what's the end game of crypto? Control. Once again, crypto. You can make your own cryptocurrency. You can become autonomous with your own cryptocurrency. You can make your own internet, by the way, too. So, exactly, crypto or gold. I take crypto over gold, 100%.
I'm okay with doing both because crypto provides you that you can build your wealth. Like it's volatile. It could go up like crazy. Whereas gold, I don't think it's just going to blow up. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a store of wealth. But this is an investment advice. I just think diversification is the key. Personally,
yeah,
to safety, not to like getting wealthy.
Yeah,
I'm more
about. My opinion is, who cares about your financial safety if you're not making millions of dollars right now? Like if you're playing that financial game and you are wanting to have money to live a comfortable life in the future, in my opinion, stop thinking safety nets. Start thinking, I got to take chances, because those safety nets aren't going to save me when I need to use them, because I'm going to be outpaced by inflation and everything else. So right now, risk taking, all in on shit. That's my mindset. That's my mindset. And that's most wealthy people's mindset, by the way. Warren Buffett will never tell you to diversify. Mark Cuban will never tell you to diversify.
Yeah, just buy Berkshire. They're diversified
They're not.
enough.
So they have like 4 main companies they really buy into.
Yeah, but they buy and trade stocks and shit all the time too.
Yeah, but
different
how
things.
Warren Buffett made his wealth is going all in on like 1 or 2 companies.
Yeah, but 4 is more than what you're saying. So I mean, there's still somewhat diversified.
So here's the issue that people get confused on when it comes to diversification is a rich man's game.
Oh,
It's a rich man's game. If you're not rich, in my opinion, fuck diversifying. Take all the risks that you can.
I don't know much about him. How did he get rich? Do you know?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't really start making millions of dollars until he was like in his 40s or something, 30s, 40s, and in the stock market. You know, he just made really good long-term plays.
I wonder if his portfolio was diversified.
It wasn't. He talked about not diversifying. He focused on a couple main companies to buy a lot of. Went all
Maybe
in.
that's why. Maybe that's why people are always saying diversification is to like keep you poor or something.
It is. Diversification is a rich man's game. It's a rich man's game, so they don't lose $100 million when the stock market crashes. But if you have $100 million diversified across, and then you can maintain it, and then if you gain 2% that year, your 2% on 100 million is still like what, $2 million. But if you gain 2% on your $1,000, that ain't shit. That ain't shit.
Yeah.
So it's a rich man's game. It's a rich man's game. Only risk what you can afford to lose, of course. Pretty sure a consumer is going to learn a big lesson real soon. I mean, they already have been for years. And we all are consumers. Thank you for consuming this live stream, by the way. I appreciate that.
Yeah, make sure you guys hit the follow button, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff.
How do you know the upside potential? Well, does it have a good narrative? Is it memeable? Does it have good technology behind it? Where's the community? Does it have community? A lot of things. If we're talking about cryptocurrency specifically, they are making people want crypto, not forced. Why? You can make your own fiat to, yeah, good luck. Look at what happened to all the other leaders who try to make their own fiat. They get killed. It's hard that you can't shut down something that's decentralized like crypto because it's on the internet. So you can just keep going. And so it's harder to shut down. But all right, guys, I have an interview here in an hour. Mick has to get going. Thank you all for showing up. And then real quick, before we go, last topic we were going to touch on, pretty ironic. U.S. citizens are going to Mexico because gas is cheaper in Mexico right now.
They're going there to buy gas to fill up their tank?
Yep.
That's a long-ass drive, man. I think I'd waste a lot of gas doing that. But they got the beach there, so.
Yeah, well, obviously it's not people in Ohio going to do that. So, anyway.
It's not that cheap. It'd have to be like a penny a gallon or something.
Yeah, right. Has to be given away free. But, all right, so I'll look into the whole Khazarian mafia thing, see what that's all about. I feel like I've heard about it before. But do some research, look into it. But I got to start doing some prep work for the interview that I got at 3:30. Quality debate, guys. He's right. They're driving there. So, yeah. But, all right, guys. Much love. We'll be back doing the same exact
every
stuff
Sunday.
next Sunday.
It's going to be switching up here a little bit, though. I think it's going to be at like probably around like 3 o'clock for the next 2 months because my kid's transgender soccer. All right, guys.
All right.
Stay ahead of the curve with us, man. Like, share, subscribe. Y'all have a great day.
Peace.